Hey everyone, Ryan here, or M&R Productions, with my review of the LEGO Star Wars 75297 Resistance X-Wing. LEGO did send me this set for free to review, so big thank you to them for doing so. Anyway, this set does include 60 pieces and retails for 20 bucks in the United States, which is pretty expensive for the piece count, but this is a juniors or 4+ set, which means they're using much larger pieces and printed pieces, so that is kind of a little bit of explanation as to why this set is so expensive for what you're getting. We do get a couple figures in the set. They may be underwhelming for some, but that is all you're going to be getting there. And then the box art is just kind of on this really bad looking desert, in my opinion. I don't know. It's just not a lot going on there for the box art of this thing. I guess that doesn't really matter when you're selling to someone who's 4 years old, but hey, that's what I think about that. But something about this set and the other two March 2021 sets is that LEGO doesn't typically release Star Wars sets in March, but it does appear that due to COVID, LEGO did push back the release of 3 of the LEGO Star Wars January 2021 sets to March of 2021. So that's why we're seeing this set and 2 others be released on March 1st as opposed to January 1st like they would have probably been otherwise. Now, something else I'm noticing here is that we don't have that side box art. Usually get that nice little bit of side box art, but here they're advertising the instructions plus. Don't like that. I really liked having all the side box arts line up, so I don't know why they had to get rid of that with this particular set. That really does suck, in my opinion. And then on the back, it's really blank, very simple for a young child, realistically, to look at and understand what's happening here, or maybe just to convey that message to adults that it's supposed to be easy. There's probably a lot of rationale for why this packaging is so dumbed down on the back, but it says learn to build. Pretty straightforward there, right? Very simple building techniques. And then it shows the X-Wing, which is kind of similar to the one that we got in 2019, especially with that cockpit piece, that windshield piece there, just not the greatest look. The lone minifigure in this set is Poe Dameron here. This is the exact same Poe Dameron that we received all the way back in 2016 with the Resistance X-Wing fighter in a $80 set. So now you're getting him in a $20 set, so fair enough. If you wanted this guy, now you got him for super cheap, comparatively in this $20 4+ Juniors X-Wing Starfighter from Episode 7. The figure itself looks really nice with a really solid torso print with really good detail. He's got a silver blaster, solid back print, and then the helmet. These Resistance pilot helmets I think are just excellent with the molded in visor. They look much better than the Rebel ones that LEGO tried out in mid-2018 with a more slimmed and sleek look to them. But yeah, he does have 2 faces. You can kind of see some of the beard stubble on the underside, on the backside there. So you have this one face, which is pretty aggressive looking. And then face number 2 with a bit of a smile to him. There is no hairpiece included in this set. You just have the helmet for him. Next up is BB-8, and he has really been the same since his introduction in 2015 for LEGO Star Wars. I think there's been some slight printing changes, but again, it's not something you're really going to notice on this figure compared to other figures of BB-8. This is fine. It's nice. His head can rotate, of course, so you can get some little playability out of that. He works with the stud, obviously, so it doesn't have an actual rolling function or anything. But yeah, BB-8, nice figure to have in the set, I guess, if you still need one. And here is the Resistance X-Wing. Hey, this looks pretty familiar, doesn't it? Well, that's because back in 2019, LEGO released a Juniors X-Wing from the Rebellion that looked like this, of course, just with the white and red color scheme more predominantly. And that set, I think, was a better value than this one. And we'll get to that in a minute. But first, let's just actually take a look at what you're getting here for your $20, I suppose. You do have printed pieces, so you do have this printed slope piece on the front. You have a couple of printed slopes on the side of the set to give it a little bit more detail. Now, is this necessary really for a junior set that a 4-year-old is building? No, I actually really don't think so. I think they honestly could have gotten away with no printing on a set like this. They could have saved money and made it $15 or maybe even $10, honestly. Like, it's something that I'm kind of confused about why they go to the length to add that bit of detail for a set that's really for someone who's not even going to notice that type of thing. They just want to put the pieces together and fly it around. So it's a little bit different than most other sets when it's outside of this 4+ range where it would make sense to me. I don't know. It's just something that I've started to mull over and be like, hey, do you really need to bother with putting any printed pieces on something like this? Especially detail like this? Like, this is better detail than the actual LEGO set got a few years back. It's actually insane. So, yeah, that's a thing. Anyway, the printing you can see is a little bit off on mine, too. A little odd looking there on that slope piece, but still nice detail. Like, I shouldn't be complaining about them doing printed pieces, I guess, but to me, it just doesn't make sense when this is literally mostly going to be in the hands of 4-year-olds. But you do have what to me is the biggest problem with these Juniors X-Wings still is this windshield cockpit piece is just too thin. It doesn't fit the right thing, and it just leaves this real open look that is completely wrong for an X-Wing. But again, it's for a 4-year-old, so who cares, right? So yeah, you can put Poe Dameron in there, sit him down, and plop him in. There's studs on the bottom. It all works out. And maybe the only positive of that is you can leave his blaster on, and when you put the windshield piece down, you can still have his blaster pointing outside of that. So that's kind of a neat side effect of that piece being the piece. You have the printed control panel in there if you didn't notice it yet. But yeah, I really like the hinge system for this. This works really well, really clean. It's not going to pop off on little kids when they play with this. And then you have this little stud on the back, which makes it really intuitive as the place to put your BB-8 figure for him to come along for the ride. It makes it a little bit weirder to hold because you don't have that like normal like middle spot there without BB-8 in the way, and you can't hold the wings because the wings are going to be something you can use too. But you basically have like this boat hole underneath, and that's what the main bulk of the build is made of for the underside of the X-Wing. The engines use these really nice semicircle pieces in black, front and back. It's actually a really nice look for a set this dumbed down. And then you can actually open up the wings like this, so 1 and 2 like that. And then on the other side, 1 and 2 like that. And just like that, you're in like your attack position, ready to go into battle with the X-Wing, which is rather nice and easy to do. And then, of course, closing them back up is going to be really simple as well. And this is kind of reminiscent of like really early Lego Star Wars sets because you have these really simple blaster pieces. This is one of my favorite Lego pieces ever. I always love seeing that piece show up on Lego sets. So obviously it's in a really dumbed down version of an X-Wing, but it still serves the purpose really well for the canon for the X-Wing. Now, for 4-year-olds, this set is perfect. It honestly is. It's a really good X-Wing for someone that's 4 years old. You can put it together really easy. The building instructions are really simple. Like putting this together is as easy as they get, right? It's like 60 pieces, really big pieces mostly. They section it up really well for you to go ahead and put together if you're young or if you're buying this for someone that's young. I wouldn't expect a 4-year-old to be watching this review video to make their purchasing decision on this. But yeah, so it's a really good set for little kids. As far as most people that are watching this that are more like me that collect Lego Star Wars and like to put things on their shelves, you don't need to buy this, especially if you have the 2016 Resistance X-Wing. There's no reason to spend $20 on this. You don't need it at all. It's not good looking. It's not going to look good on display. I don't see any real reason to go out and buy this one unless you're buying it for a little kid for like their birthday. That's really the purchasing case for this set to me. Outside of that, I don't see why most people would want this. Now, to my point a bit earlier about this set in particular being a worse value than the 2019 version, it is. It has less than half as many pieces, and I know price per pieces and everything, but it's a good indicator in this case because the ships are literally the same, right? Like bar a few changes, but you're still paying 2/3 the price. So the 2019 set was $30 and the 2021 set is $20. So 2/3 the price, half the value to me with this X-Wing versus the X-Wing with Death Star trench run thing because it had the whole cannon and everything. So I think this set should have been $15 max, and it's really unfortunate that Lego is charging $20. I think that's way too much. Don't buy it for $20. If you're gonna buy it, try to find it on sale for $16. That would be the most I would try to pay for this. If you pay more, I think you're really letting yourself get ripped off and you're telling Lego that this type of thing is okay. So just keep that in mind too if you were actually thinking about buying this for yourself. So let me know down in the comment section below what you guys think of this 2021 4+ Juniors X-Wing. It's not great. It's good for 4-year-olds and not much else. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, and you can check out my other Lego Star Wars 2021 set reviews on the end screen now.